Greetings, I'm Carl Richards, and this is the Elementality podcast. So excited today to talk to Chelsea Rood in Southern Illinois. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, welcome. Super excited to chat with you today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Let's do this. I love kind of backing up a bit and starting from the beginning. So if you had to quickly tell us an origin story, why did you get into this? Let's use the word profession today. Why did you get into this profession of giving financial advice?
Yeah. So I did not come from a well-off financial family. I grew up really interested in math and really interested in business, and
just real quickly, just sort of naturally, just interested in business. You don't were you one of those kids that took candy bars to this school and sold them?
My very first business was in the 4th grade with my best friend. We sold those lizards made out of beads that we made. We made an awesome profit. And so yes, from a very young age, I've been interested in business. But I also had great female role models. My mom, my aunt, both very business minded. My mom owned her own business. But I didn't become aware of financial planning as a profession until my very first class in college. In the finance department, I signed up for an elective, and it was financial and tax planning, and it just blew my mind. They're like, oh my gosh, you can plan for a better financial life and how to make wise financial decisions, and you can help people do that. And it was a total game changer for me. Completely set the trajectory for the rest of my career.
That's so fascinating. Try and help me understand just a little, blew my mind, total game changer. Can we get what's underneath that? Why was that so exciting to you?
I think for me and a lot of people that you find in this industry, you have emotions tied to your finances because of experiences at a very young age, and memories that set the biases of how you approach money, and how you feel about what you're capable of with your finances. And for me, that came from one of remembering very distinctly of not having things that other kids had, or hearing financial arguments that maybe not other kids would have heard. And so I think, unfortunately, in our society, there's a lot of people who don't know anything about finances because they didn't grow up in households that talked about finances in that way. And so that's why it was so powerful for me, was because it was something I had never really heard much about, and being able to change other people's lives in that way was really exciting for me.
That's so cool. I'm so tempted to. So you use the word distinct memories. So you have this, you can remember specific.
Oh
reasons.
yeah, yeah. And our clients do too.
Can you tell us a brief story? What comes to mind?
Yeah, for me, laying in bed as a kid, crying, asleep, or not able to go to sleep, hearing my parents arguing on the other side of the wall
about stress
finances
around money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think as a kid, that just really sticks with you. And talking to clients, it's those memories that really stick with them and really shape their decisions that they make throughout adulthood.
Yeah. So cool. I mean, just so important to understand, because most of the time that stuff goes unexamined.
Oh yeah.
It's driving most of our decisions and we don't even know it. It's like an autopilot that we don't even know is running.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why, that's one of our first questions in our discovery meeting with clients is, tell me about the very first memory you have dealing with money in your childhood.
Wow.
And that opens up a whole different dynamic in that first meeting of, what do I remember? What was talked about as a kid? What negative emotions or positive emotions do I have around money? How is that changing how I approach money? How does it change how I approach money with my own children?
Yeah.
And it really kickstarts what we are hoping to achieve, which is more financial clarity and more awareness of the decisions that we're making and maybe why we're making those decisions. Is it logical, or is it something in our memories that's causing us to make financial decisions or approach our finances because of that?
Can you think of an experience where somebody unwound something that was like, whoa, that really is like you use the word, like I think you said
Yes.
mind blown or life changing. Like, can you share a story with us?
Yes. Yeah. So not too many months ago, we had a gentleman in our office in his 60s, and I asked that question, and I wasn't prepared for it to get as emotional as it did, but he came to our office because he wanted to invest and protect things for inflation. Sounds like a pretty reasonable thing. We started
Right.
diving into that question. His first memory with money was as a young adult, living on his own, couldn't find a job, so he was doing odd jobs for people. And inflation was crazy high. He wasn't for sure when his next job was going to be. Winter was kicking in, and he had only eaten cabbage all 3 meals for a solid week. And
Mm,
I'm going to get emotional just talking about it, but
sure.
like, you think about how that changes your way of approaching money and the current environment that we're in, and bringing that into your decision making. His greatest fear was that his wife would have to deal with something like that if something happened to him.
That's
And
so amazing.
so that is a huge motivator for everything that he does with his finances, how he approaches his daily life. Um, and that's an important thing for me to know as an advisor. If we hadn't talked about that, he would have just been another gentleman, worried about what's going on in the news and people talking about inflation. But no, it's so much more to him than that.
That is amazing. Like, thanks for sharing it, but more
Yeah.
importantly, thanks for providing a space for him. Like, that's really, really
Yeah.
cool. Um, who is your work for?
Honestly, I'm a Christian, and so I approach my life as I've been given these gifts, and I'm supposed to use them to grow the kingdom and to serve people. And so we really just want to help people. We want to help people have a better life. We want to remove the stress that finances can bring, and that will trickle down and help kids and families and communities. And so that's really why I come to work every day.
Mm. Yeah, and do you find that you end up serving a specific kind of person, a specific kind of client, whether that's an occupation or maybe a set of beliefs? Like, do you find that you have a type of person that you end up working with more?
Yeah, I think naturally we attract a lot of Christian clients because of sharing that same faith. I also attract a lot of small business owner clients. And I think partially because I'm a small business owner, and I think they've seen me go from the corporate space to owning my own business, and they know that I've been through that. But then also we try to be our outsourced CFO for small businesses to take
Mm.
the finance piece off of their plate so they can do what it is that they love doing. And they don't have to worry about, projecting cash flow and paying sales tax and paying their employees and filing tax returns. We help with all of that piece so that they can do what they enjoy doing and what they're great at, and what increases revenue for their business.
So many questions. Would it be okay to spend just a few minutes talking about the Christian piece?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me more about, like, is there a unique, like, when you say we end up working with, I think you use the word attract, like we attract a lot of, I think you use that
Yes.
word.
Yes.
Why? What's unique about that? Is it just that you're willing to talk about it and incorporate it into money, which sometimes we were like church and state sort of style, right? Like, is it just because you're open? What is it
I think
what is it
so.
that
Yeah. So we've been volunteering a lot more going into schools and talking about finances, and including the private schools and churches too. Um, and bringing in, what does the Bible say about money? And how does our approach towards money, if you're looking at your life through the lens of eternity, that like we talk about how
Mm,
improving your the time period that you're planning for improves outcomes, because people get so focused on what's going on today and it makes things a lot more scarier. But if you're planning for a longer time horizon, outcomes tend to improve because people have just that long-term approach. They're able to stay in the plan longer. You talk about someone whose focus is on eternity and what they do today and how that impacts things.
right.
That it just gets exciting. That group of people that we serve is looking at, how can I give more, not how can I accumulate more. How can I pass on a legacy to my family that's more than just the money piece? It's what's important. It's how we approach our finances. It's how we approach our life. And it's a really exciting group for me to get to serve.
That's super, super cool. Is there some connection between, I'm interested in the connection between this, the role your faith plays and small business owners?
I would say, I mean, most of them are also Christian business owners. But I think all of them have a heart to serve our community.
Mm,
And so we have a lot of similarities just in our faith and in what we're trying to accomplish. I think as a small business owner, you just get very much aware of your impact in your
mm,
neighborhood and your community and your family, and balancing it all. You wear so many hats that you just have to be so much more aware of your impact around you.
I love that. Like the impact on community, this long-term focus,
Hmm.
doing the right thing, like all of that's really, really cool. What if you could sort of wave a magic wand and have the impact that you want, like what do you hope your work does in terms of the change that it makes in somebody's life?
I hope it creates a generational shift,
Mm,
that people can have more peace with their money and less shame. I would say that's probably the number one thing that prevents people from walking into our office, even, is this
mm,
idea that, like, I need to fix my financial life before I feel comfortable even showing you what I've got going on. Because there is so much shame associated with people's finances that they don't even feel like they are deserving of coming to our office for good advice. And that breaks my heart, that someone
mhm.
would think that they have to have it all together before they even come and get our opinion. And that's not what we're about at all. Like, I really hope that we can help people get more confidence with their finances, and clarity, and just remove that shame. Because if you can achieve that, it's going to change how they approach with their kids. And if their kids have a better experience as a young child, then that's going to change the biases and the way that they handle their finances. And I think you can start seeing this generational shift of more of an abundant mentality versus a scarcity mentality.
That's amazing. I'm so tempted just to say amen. But I want to just ask one, I just want to ask one more question. It's very similar. So if let's pretend like we were 10 years from now, and you're looking back and you're happy and you're satisfied and you're gratified with what has happened, what would have had to have happened in order for you to feel that way about the work you've done and the impact you've had?
I think for me, the next step is we really want to create a a program where we can start bringing in the next generation of advisors. And I want it to be that apprenticeship style where we can start training more advisors within our office so that we can have an even greater impact. Because I'm, I only have so many hours in a day, so that's only so many lives that I can help. And each life that you help is going to tell others, or it's going to benefit their kids. But if I can help train more advisors in doing real financial planning for their clients, then we can just really start to shift the industry and maybe the way the world thinks about money and approaches their finances. That would be really, really cool to look back on.
Yeah. Chelsea, I've a million questions, but I think we're gonna wrap there just with a big giant amen. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.